let's start with the mastermind. So first, Cindy and I are going to start talking about masterminds, how we kind of formed our group, because we actually decided that we as accountability partners wanted to form a mastermind group together. And then just if you were to hit a couple of things on that, and then we're going to bring in 2 of our masterminds at a time, since we only have 4 slots available. So we'll bring 2 in at a time, ask some questions. First, we'll have Esme and Anita, and then we'll have Lee and Catherine. So Miss Cindy, let's talk about why we want to put together a mastermind group.
So, well, because, we talked about this a little bit. I think the accountability partnering has been and continues to be super, super important and impactful in our life. However, we all know that the more people that you have working together, brainstorming, helping, thinking together, the more ideas you get, the even faster that you can potentially grow. So I think that's kind of, originally we're like, let's get some other ideas in here. Yeah, we have great ideas, but it's finite between the 2 of us. Well, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. It equals 3, because your ideas grow exponentially. But then figure adding, 4 or 5 more people, and 4 people, right? No, yeah, 4 more people, and then it grows even farther. So you get that many more ideas and input.
Right. Yeah.
So that was why we decided, and we had been to, we've been to a group that was all women, and we liked that, and we wanted to kind of do something like that, I think.
Yeah, originally we had talked about doing a monthly group where we would have a get together, we would have a speaker come in, and everybody would be networking together. And then we decided that that was a lot of work, and we were already super busy in our lives and our businesses. So that's really not where we wanted to go. So we decided that, what we really wanted was a core accountability group and we decided to do women only. They needed to be business owners, right? They needed to, we wanted them to be spiritual in whatever aspect that is to them, or believe in some sort of higher power. We wanted them to be just as motivated as we are, or more, which is hard to think to be a little more. And what else? Oh, we wanted them to be women who lift and help other people and know the importance of that, instead of women who feel like they need to be in competition with other women. So Cindy and I sat down and we made a list of people that we knew that fit the bill. And then we discussed the list. And we came up with the first 2 women that we asked to be in our group, who were
Anita and Esme.
Yes. And Anita Steberg, she is an attorney. She's the owner of Steberg Law Firm. And then Esme St. James, she is a dating muse. So that is her company name, is the Dating Muse. The both of them are total rock stars. We asked them. Thank you, Anita. Anita says she loved how you decide on potential members of the mastermind, like as business owners, you defined your target audience avatar. Yeah, we felt like that was very important to us.
Yeah, it was important that we have, just like with your accountability partner, that you have like-minded people. So not exactly like you, but like-minded in the things that were important.
Definitely. And then we figured we wanted to have calls for about an hour. So it was working really well with the 4 of us, and we could have stayed there. And then we met a total rock star at Shalene's MIA, Marketing Impact Academy event last year. She sat at a table with us and we totally hit it off and immediately knew she was our people. So then we went back to the group and asked, we met this lady. This is what she's about. What do you ladies think? Could we add her to our mastermind if she's interested? She lives in Chicago. We're all in California, and we all agreed to. So then Lee was added to the group last year, and then
drum roll,
our final member.
Well, okay, so let's be very transparent. We were super concerned that we didn't get too many people.
Right.
And that's something when you have your mastermind group that you do need to think about, whether you're putting it together or whether you're a part of it. But we also want to hear about your experiences with mastermind groups too. For us, we wanted it to still have a personal touch so that everybody would feel like they got an equal amount of attention, or at least everybody felt like it was there was fair time spent on everybody's businesses. So we kind of thought at that point, first we thought 4, and then we found Lee, and she was so awesome. And then we just recently, I want to say found, I don't know, the universe brought Catherine.
Right. Catherine.
to our group, and she's a fabulous addition too. And, you know, so far it's all working.
Definitely. And just to say how we met Catherine. So Catherine, I just started doing Periscope, and I was doing this 10-day challenge with Bonnie L. Frank. She was doing the 10-day challenge. So we met that way. We're supporting each other. And oh my goodness, she is just an amazing person. But I wasn't going to ask the group if we could add another mastermind. But it's funny because now that she's become part of our lives and everybody's got to meet her through Periscope and other things. So she came out here and she stayed with me for a few days. So everyone's kind of gotten to know her, and she did Shalene Smart Success with us. Everyone's like, Catherine needs to be part of the mastermind. She is a rock star. She needs to be part of our mastermind. So she just kind of fell into it, and it's been an amazing piece of this as well. So we had decided that 4 was good, and then we met Lee, and now that's 5, and now Catherine is 6, because the main thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we limit our phone calls to an hour. We do an hour the second and fourth Friday of the month. We've decided on that because we wanted to talk enough that we brainstorm things as you were going through it. You didn't have to wait too long, but we didn't want to add too much to everybody's schedule either. And 1 hour time limit. We started doing this at 6 a.m. our time, which would be 9 a.m. for Catherine and for Lee. And we found that we needed to move it, that the 6 a.m. really wasn't working for everybody. So now we do it at 8. But that's where, when you're across the US and you're working with different time zones, then you have to make sure that you have a schedule that works for everybody, right?
But it is really cool, right? To know people and be talking and working with people across the United States is really awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So let's talk about the typical ways we run it, and then we'll bring Anita and Esme on. Okay. Perfect. So just real quick.
Well, let me say, the way that we run it is the way Shauna runs it. I'm just kidding.
What'd you say?
I said is the way that you run it. Basically, when we first started doing the mastermind group, Shauna was really working on public speaking and getting out there. And she wanted to take the leadership role. And so we discussed our purpose and our agenda, you know, what we were looking for, which is basically to work with these people maybe on different programs or different things, get different input on situations. But basically, the mastermind group is set up and run solely by Shauna. So why don't you tell us how you do that?
So we've done it a variety of ways, because I feel like there's not just one format that should work all the time. So a lot of the time we start with talking about our wins, because as entrepreneurs, I believe we all do this, is we don't celebrate our wins enough. So every time that we get on the call, we will say at least 1 to 3 wins that we each have. In advance, when I say, just reminder, mastermind call, is there anything you guys want to talk about? So if somebody is working on a launch of a new product or designing something, working on some social media, their editorial calendar, or whatever that is, their new website, they can put out there that this week I want to talk about this and get some input. As Esme said, that's her favorite part is the wins.
Yeah. Yep.
So we done it that way, where, you know what, maybe Cindy doesn't have something that week she needs to discuss, but the other 4 ladies do. Anita loves the wins too. The other 4 ladies too do. So we'll discuss whatever important things that they have. We've also done it where everybody gets a few minutes, like say 10, 15 minutes each, and we go over something that they're struggling with, and that way everybody gets a turn. We've also done it where and this is what we're doing right now. We just did 2 of the members and we have the other 4 to do, but right now what we're doing is an exercise for everybody. So every call, one of us is highlighted. We ask the question that we want to work on, which we're trying to do in like the same format for everybody, but we're all in different industries, so that topic is going to be a different category. So just say, for example, we were just on Lee's call on Friday. She was talking about her new website she just launched and where she's going with the public speaking and the coaching and those things. So she asked her question. We gave her our input of what, things that she needs to incorporate with that. So then we'll finish the other one. So I really feel like it's important that you adapt it to the group and what's going on with the group, that it shouldn't be the same exact format every single time. And that seems to really be working for us, in my opinion. But
if you were a facilitator or wanting to start it, what would be your basic, how would you
format?
start?
I would start it with, I would start it. Well, of course, your first call is going to be kind of everybody getting to know each other. Then your second call, you're going to start with your wins, right? And then give everybody a time block. Everybody's got. Thank you, Esme. She says my lighting looks so nice. It's my ring light. So everybody would get a certain amount of time to talk. So say it's if you have 4 people and it's an hour call, so everybody gets 10 to 15 minutes each. And the facilitator needs to keep everybody on track, because you really have to be mindful of the amount of time that you have together, because all of us are busy. Your masterminds are going to be busy as well.
So that would be 10 minutes or so talking about or discussing or giving input about an issue you have in your business.
Right. Whatever it is, because everybody's working on different things at different times. So
unless you're doing a course or something together.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you're doing a course together, then you're talking just about that course and whatever module you're on together. Just as an example of kind of how the mastermind groups too, it's not just about that phone call, it's supporting each other whenever we need it. So we have our call. We don't typically do another call as a group, except for on the 2nd and 4th Fridays. But like this past week, Esme's writing a column for a magazine, and she wanted input on what to title her column. Catherine just did a photo shoot, right? And so she's asking her input on the different pictures and which one should she use. And Lee just launched her website, so she's had us, and all this is done on text or email. It's sending it out and saying, hey, go over there and look at it. What should I change? Please be, tell me the pros and cons. Don't just be nice to me. Make it as good as you can make it for me. So all of that is just, it's phenomenal. And having a group of women that are here just to help and lift each other, I think that's the big key for our mastermind group. So whether you decide that you're going to do men and women, it's up to you what you want in your dynamic. We just chose to do women business owners because we knew it would be a different dynamic than we had added some men to it. And
we did discuss that. We did discuss that. And that doesn't mean that there won't be other groups that we do that way. But for this group, this is working.
Definitely. Okay, so Miss Anita and Miss Esme, will you guys jump on real quick so we can ask you some questions?
There we go.
Hello, Anita.
Hi.
Well, 630 is probably Catherine if it's not Lee.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hi, Esme. Hi, Anita.
Nice to have you guys on. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
So do you guys have any input about what we already talked about?
Thank you.
Do you have anything that you can add to what Cindy and I were just discussing about the mastermind
Catherine.
And how it was set up?
I do like the way that our mastermind has grown kind of organically. You brought in the original 4, and then as you've been able to identify women are like, these are our people. It's just kind of grown organically. At the same time, knowing you can't bring everybody in the world in, because otherwise our phone calls get too long. So I do like that versus other masterminds that I've been with, where if it grows too big and there's not a plan to handle that growth, the calls go on forever.
Right.
And it frustrates members, and you end up losing some of the better members, I think.
I like that it's a smaller group. I have found on larger masterminds that, people don't get the attention they need, and then what's the point? It's like taking a training course for something where you're one-on-one or one-on-3 with the leader, being in a huge group where just to get one comment out takes you the entire thing. To me, that's not worth it. I want like maximum, help. So
Right.
And maximum output. That my suggestions are heard too.
Definitely. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so Anita and Esme. We'll start first with Anita, and then move over to Esme. Same question. So, what intrigued you to be in a mastermind group? And who are you starting with? You, Anita.
And who are you starting with? Okay. I've been part of masterminds for a couple of years now, some paid, some unpaid. And I really like masterminds because it's a way to collaborate with other business owners that may be in the same industry, maybe not, and you end up with a better product than if you were to go on it yourself. You end up with better ideas. You end up with different insights. So I think it's just a way that you can really propel your success and propel the way that you're thinking about your business or your business personal life balance, whatever you end up struggling with. Because I guarantee there's somebody else in that mastermind that has struggled with it too. And maybe the way they figured it out will work for you.
I agree, definitely. It's, you know, you never know who's had the same troubles. I love that point, Anita, because, you know, when we added Lee, it's like, wow, but you know, she's so successful already. It's like, I almost was kind of hesitant to ask her for help or ask her questions. But once you find out that, you know, someone like that has been through the exact same path that you have, and they've had the exact same problems, it's like, wow, this is awesome, because she's willing to share with me, and it's okay. It's okay to ask questions of somebody who's already really successful. She's walked those miles already. So how amazing is that?
Definitely. The next question is, what are the 3 most valuable things that you've gotten from being in the mastermind group? Oh, lost Nita.
Uh-oh.
Esme, you get to go first.
Oh, that's Esme.
All right. That's me. Yeah. Remember? So the 3 most valuable things is knowing that it's okay to ask questions. You don't have to do it all yourself. To me, that's hugely important, because I'm the kind of person that oh no, I can figure it out myself. And I in the past would have spent like hours, like all-nighters, trying to figure out some technology thing, or trying to think of you know, an idea to perfect an idea. And my God, you know, here's this group of women. It's like yesterday I was looking for a title for my column. It's like, oh, bing, light bulb. I can ask my mastermind partners.
Right.
I don't have to bear all that weight and have it kind of ruin my day, because you share that in your group, and we all share equally. So I find that, to me, the most valuable thing. The other valuable thing is the camaraderie, the human touch of just knowing that there's a group of members who yes, they will call you on your stuff, believe me, but that hold you, that hold your journey, and you hold theirs. To me, the power of, let's say we have 5, the power of 5 is so much greater than the power, than just putting 5 people together. The volume, the momentum that it creates by having 5 people together or thinking about something is huge. It's like, it feels like 100 people.
Right.
And so much more than one. Obviously, like, you know, they say when a couple gets together, they expand. It's more than 2 people. Well, it's the same with the mastermind. It's like, it's an amazing relationship. And I love that, because when I moved here, I didn't really know anybody. And then I met these amazing ladies, and it's like, oh my God, I have a new family. And they're honest with me, and we hold each other in our hearts. Yeah. Aww. So, yeah. So those are, hi, Anita, you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah. And the other amazing point is how, you know, when you hold each other accountable for stuff, you're going to move ahead a whole lot faster. You just do, because it's, well, we all have a bit of a competitive spirit in our hearts, right? And so we use that in a nice way to catapult each other forward, and just kind of hop, skip, and just keep moving. And that, to me, is hugely valuable and very precious. Thank you.
Right.
Those are my 3 cents worth. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
I like that. It is true. It is very true. So, Anita, what intrigued you most to be part of our mastermind group?
To me?
And what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea of having other business owners who are women, because I do think that there are some issues that are probably more, that I talked about more in a women-oriented group than I would in a co-ed or a male-oriented group, such as women, we seem to feel the responsibility to take on the family and do the superwoman do-it-all. And that would be something I would be hesitant to bring up if it was a co-ed group, because the guys would probably look at me and like the attorneys that I do, because I work in a very male-oriented field. When we start talking about that, they're like, "Yeah, my wife handles all that." Well, I don't have a wife.
I wish I did.
I have a fabulous husband, but not a wife. So I love the idea of going into a female group where we could talk about things very openly, and we could joke very openly without having to worry about being offensive. I love the idea, and I love the chemistry of the group, and that really attracts me, being around women who will build each other up versus tear each other down, because women, as a reputation, we have a reputation being catty to each other. And and one of the things I think makes our group so dynamic is because we don't view competition in the exact same way. When I go against other attorneys, I don't have that drive to say I need to beat you into pull. We can't share secrets because you may steal my clients, and none of us have that within our industry or outside of our industry. So I really like the way that we all look at competition, saying, no, I don't want your clients. You don't want mine. You're going to resonate with other people, and I'm going to resonate with my tribe. And it makes it a very open and sharing environment. I think that is essential to a mastermind. Is you can't keep your secrets so close that you're not going to open up and share, because once it's the sharing where the magic begins.
Right.
And don't you think that there's even been opportunities where we have found, in a weird way, how we can all work together, right? Even though we're in different industries. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome. All right, Miss Shauna. Are we moving on? Next question.
Next question is, I was going to ask you guys, what are the 3 most valuable things that you think you've gotten from being in the mastermind? But I feel like you guys have really hit a lot of the things there. Is there anything else that you would add to that question?
I think it's good to be in maybe more than one mastermind, but you also have to worry about spreading yourself too thin. I get a lot out of this mastermind. I'm also in 2 other masterminds that are mostly attorneys, and I get something different from them. Right. As far as business, because they understand the ins and outs. They understand the restrictions in our field about advertising. So not everything that is thrown at me I can use. I get something different from there, but each one I think has played a slightly different role. It's like being in different networking groups. Right. They say the optimum amount is 2 to 3 networking groups at any given time. I think masterminds are like that, and I think it helps to on top of that, have an accountability partner for whatever aspect, whether it's your business life, personal life, social marketing, whatever you feel you need accountability, to find somebody that. I think those 3 things interconnect, and they really help propel your success.
Right. Definitely.
Right. I totally agree with Anita too about, yeah, indeed. Yeah. Well said, Anita. To be in more than one mastermind group, and this is kind of new to me, but I joined another mastermind group with Roger Love, which is more vocal coaching, and it's more specific to that. And so what I've learned there is how to use my voice differently, and how to do videos better, how to speak better. And that's a huge part of what I do, because I do, live broadcasts like you guys do on Periscope and Facebook Live. So that is hugely helpful to me, but it's different from this group. I get so much out of this group as well, but it's all stuff you pick up to help others with, to help your clients with. So I think, you can't go wrong having at least 2 mastermind groups, as long as you don't feel like you're spread too thin. But pick things that are really important to you. Don't just join it because you like the people. Do it because there's value in it for you and your business and personal growth as well.
Yeah, I can say so.
Go ahead, Shauna.
Okay, so I was
just going to say, I think that we've all experienced where that it has maybe not worked out with somebody. And I think that's like what Sage is saying too, right? There comes a time maybe where I'm thinking of a situation in particular, Esme, that we all talked about with you, right? Where it didn't, and you had to walk away because you were kind of going in not the same directions. So if you be willing to walk away, you will find somebody else.
Definitely.
Absolutely. The minute you let go of something that's not working for you and just let go of it with love. Don't be mad at them. Just completely let it go. Mm-hmm. Then you break that pattern of being with the wrong kind of person for something, and something amazing and new comes in, and it did for me. So you just go, that just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You got to be able to let go and don't throw good money or good attention or good time after bad. Move on, sisters. Move on.
Yep. Another one opens,
all right.
Yeah.
So I can say from my
yes.
Okay, so I'm also in another mastermind group. This is my let me just say this is my favorite one though. This one is the bomb. Of course. Yes.
Yes.
But I'm with another one, and the reason that I was invited into that one is because I have a lot of realtors I work with their marketing, and they were putting a class together, and they invited me into it. And at that class, they spun off and wanted to do a mastermind and invited me to be into the mastermind. So it's really just think about other places besides, the typical, like looking online, looking for a mastermind. Anita has just suggested to Sage Mysterium, who is saying that she's in a mastermind, but she feels like it's not the right fit anymore. She's kind of outgrown it sounds like. So this is one of my favorite things that I remember Anita and Esme, when we went and took the Bo Easton class. It's public speaking, how to tell a story. It was like a 2 or 3 day class. One of my favorite things he said is choose yourself, right? And so if you cannot find or don't want to find a mastermind group that's already form one yourself like we did. And that way you're surrounding yourself with the right people, because you're going to have your avatar or your list of the criteria that you want those people to have, and you're going to choose wisely, right?
Yep.
And to me, I mean, this was the best thing that I did. I also was in a mastermind group in my industry. So this is a fail, because you can learn from fails as well, or as we call them, lessons. I was in a mastermind group in my industry. And what I found is that we couldn't all get on the same schedule. Not all of us were on the same path. Not all of us had the same motivation. So it didn't really work. Like, I know I can reach out to those people at any time to get feedback from them, and they become my friend, and I've built relationships with them, but it just doesn't work unless everybody's committed to it. So
absolutely.
A conversation to have starting out in the beginning when you're forming that group. Okay.
Well, so and sometimes just look for signs too. Just look for signs, right? Because I started a group. As most of you know, I'm a jumper, right? So I've started groups. But if the person is not responding to your emails or they're not showing up, that's a sign, right? Time to move on.
So Sage Mysterium says, so a mastermind group should be filled with people who are doing the same thing.
Let's quickly do Brady Bunch. Anna, what do you do?
I do advertising and marketing.
And Anita?
I have my own law firm, and I coach other attorneys on how to build their own law firms.
And Esme?
I'm a dating and style coach for men. I show single men how to be irresistible.
Right. Awesome. And me, I build and remodel homes in Silicon Valley. So there you have it.
And Lee has like 4 businesses, or maybe 5, right? So she's got a bunch of a transcription business. She has her Lee, I can never say her last name. Just
That's it.
That's my best one.
It's a tongue twister.
But yeah, so she has her public speaking, coaching business. She has her Girly Girls Know Sports. She's got quite a few. Then you have Catherine, who is a stylist and confidence building and business coach. So we're all in different industries. We're not doing the exact same at the exact time. Like Anita's creating a course right now. I'm creating a program. I'm creating a software. She's doing an app and software. Esme has her column. Esme just did her website. Esme's doing her public speaking in her voice. I mean, we could just go on and on.
And Esme's rocking it.
Yeah, we're all doing.
We're all rocking.
Thank you.
We're all rocking it.
We're all motivated.
We are. Yes.
Business. We're all have the same synergy together, and we all want to lift each other up, and we all have these same and different experiences, so you get a complete puzzle put together instead of just one person's strengths that's going to help you.
Well, so wait, one more thing, which is that we all actually can put ourselves in the shoes. If we're not each other's client, we can put ourselves in the shoes of a potential client for each other. And that I think is huge.
So can I just give an example real quick? Our call we just did with Lee. So one of the things she asked about is she's putting together like her website and stuff for teaching people how to do public speaking.
Oh, just 1 second, Shauna. So hold on. So I haven't heard back. Catherine can't get on and Lee hasn't responded. So we may as well just continue.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, other ladies.
Sorry.
I wish it was live streaming at its finest. Okay.
Yep.
So
anyway, your example.
We had the call with Lee and she's creating this program. So we're telling her the pain points of somebody does public speaking. Well, Cindy and Catherine, right? They probably have been doing public speaking the longest, and Esme, me, and Anita have been doing it for the shorter amount of time. So we could give both perspectives where, Cindy and Catherine said, well, probably what we struggle with most is preparing because we've been doing it so long and we're so confident. We just jump into it. We just go do it. Right? Where somebody who's just starting with public speaking has completely different fears, right? Their fear of getting out there, the fear of not being able to memorize what they're talking about, how to use PowerPoint slides, or whatever it is. So we were able to give her a whole vision of what she needed to put into her program at different levels. So just for an example of things that we do.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So next question. Do you think masterminds are valuable, and what are the pros and cons?
Who are you asking first?
I'm going to ask Miss Anita.
So are masterminds valuable? Absolutely. Pros and cons is that you do have to schedule them. You do have to make time, and you do have to, not only for the phone call, but for whatever you commit to in that group, you have to schedule the time, and so that way you can do your homework or whatever you're working on. You have to be active in it. I think that can be a pro and a con. If you're just the person who's sitting there on the phone, not saying anything, not participating, you're denying yourself as well as your other mastermind partners. The con, I think the biggest con is if you're in a group that isn't working for you, you don't find that out until you start doing it. I have bowed out of 2 or 3 masterminds in the last year because when I've started with them, it's became obvious that it wasn't going to work for me because sometimes it was the personality of the group. Sometimes it was, I just felt too intimidated and I was the person that was on the phone that didn't dare say anything. And in those cases, I think and both times I handled it the same way. I spoke with the person who was in charge of it. So if this was our group, I talked to Shauna and Cindy since they put it together. And I would say, I am struggling in this group. These are my concerns. Both times, one of the groups that it was not a personality. I just realized very early on, cut my losses. It was a paid mastermind. So I just decided I bowed out of it and stopped participating and canceled the subscription to that. The other one that I was just too intimidated, it was me. I ended up just, for other reasons, they had actually changed their time about the same time. And it was at a time that I'm in court regularly. So it didn't work. And once again, I bowed out. That would be something that if I had not had the schedule conflict,
right.
I would with. So I think there's pros and cons to masterminds, but I think that the most valuable advice is that if it's not working, get out of it.
Right.
Because all you're doing is taking time away from yourself.
Right. And
can I ask you a question? Because you are in a male-dominated field, more so. Well, and Esme, you are too, obviously. So is it different being in a mastermind group with men? And what are the pros and cons of that? Because this works for us, but that doesn't mean that other dynamic wouldn't work as well.
There's pros and cons. I'm a litigator. I am tax. I do tax work and I do probate and estate litigation. Those are all male-dominated industries within law. And the masterminds that I have been in and that I'm in regarding that are very male-dominated. It is a different dynamic. One of the things I find, and it is not to put down any men, they are doing it from the best place of their heart. They look at me as female. Their job is to solve female problems, not to give me advice or input, but to actually solve the problem. And that it doesn't, I'm not offended by it, but I don't think it's as valuable as advice.
Right.
The way they interact with each other is different than how I interact with women.
Mhm.
You know, it's just a different dynamic. They come from a different mindset. So it is, and at times some of the advice almost comes off as rude, and it's nothing to do with them. It's just how it's phrased.
Right.
So there are differences in men in a male-dominated conversations, and I'm sure Esme could probably talk more about that. Additionally, how they're structured generally seems to be very different. The male-dominated masterminds that I'm in, the person who's in charge is very authoritative. And that just seems to be, at first I thought it was just that person, but after I've been in 3 or 4, I realized, no, that's just the way that, especially attorneys who are type A personalities like to take control, that shines through.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Esme, do you have anything to add to that with as far as the man-woman dynamic?
Yeah, so I thought most of that don't have the best signal, but I'm happy to.
Esme.
Yes.
All right.
We can hear you.
Well,
We can hear you.
I'm in this group, and it's all women.
Hopefully she'll come back.
15. The leader is a man.
Esme's gone off my screen.
Me too.
Pardon?
But can you? I can hear her. Can you guys hear her?
No.
Okay,
Oh.
Esme, will you call back in? Because I could hear you, but I guess I'm special.
Okay.
I mean, we know that,
Yep.
but
You are special, Miss Clicky Finger. So I did say to Sage that I think with men, I think it could be an interesting dynamic. So because they do think in different ways. So I haven't ever done a mixed mastermind group, but it is intriguing to me.
my realtor one's mixed.
That's true.
Yeah, it's mixed. And the other one I was trying to do with my industry is mixed. It just is a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many different personalities. So it depends on that person's personality as well. So Sage has said, Esme, just one second. We'll get back to you answering that question. Sorry. Sage says, what do you do when everyone is suggesting you do something, but you really don't want to do it? As helpful as it might be, I didn't really want to do what they were suggesting, and I really didn't feel like they were trying to help me with what I needed or was trying to do. You know what? It's your advice. It's your business. You take it or leave it. That's my advice. Right? Not everybody knows exactly what you're trying to do or where you're going. It's their input. So if it's not good input, it doesn't feel right to you, use your own intuition. That's my advice, ladies.
My advice is I always say you can take it or leave it because it's my advice.
Yeah, you know, and I would thank that person for their advice and say, you know, I think I need to think on that. And it's your business, your advice. And if it's going in a direction that you don't feel that you want to do, just don't take that advice. It's your business and it's your life. You have to do things that you are comfortable with.
Right. The other thing too is we're here to talk about, accountability partners that leads to mastermind groups, but get an accountability partner if you don't have one. I think all 4 of us, we all have accountability partners. And that will help you determine which of the ideas you like or might work or won't work on a more personal basis.
And just going back to accountability partners. So Cindy and I are accountability partners, and Esme and Anita are accountability partners.
Mm-hmm. I like this.
I think it's the other way. I think it's the opposite. Isn't it the opposite?
Oh!
Am I pointing at Cindy right now?
So you're pointing to Cindy right now, Shauna. And when she points down, she's pointing to Esme.
Right.
What about here?
You're pointing to the comments. Now you're pointing to Esme.
Oh, wait, you're over here.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so Esme, do you want to finish?
Now you got me.
You guys are funny.
Okay, so I'm just trying to log on to. Can you guys hear me? Okay?
Can we hear you?
I'm trying to log on to Blab on my phone because.
Can you hear who?
It's failing here.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So Okay, good. Because my signal, I'm trying to get on my phone to do this. But if, oh, anyway, so, okay, where were we? Dealing with men. Okay, so yeah, at first it's a little intimidating. It of course depends on the person, right? Some guys are more in touch with their female side and some are just all, whoa, you know. I'm not into the macho types. I invited the mastermind that has men in it, that's led by a man, because he is a very conscious person. He lives very consciously, and he has that spirit that I love, and he relates very well to women, not trying to, he understands how we think. Now, I found huge value in having men in my group because I deal with men and I can study them further. And all of the men in this mastermind group are extremely giving and loving and wanting to help you. Guys that you wouldn't think would be, but they are, because we help each other back. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a problem with that particular group. Some guys I wouldn't follow because I know they're going to be like more military than I like to be. So that doesn't work for me, but it helps me hugely in understanding my client better. And I can ask them questions. Hey, give me a guy's point of view. Right. I need your thoughts on this. And I found also how guys are people too. I mean, they're, you know, they have feelings. They're just as vulnerable as we are. They may not show it as much, right. But when you do get into it with them, boy, I mean, I've had guys on the phone for 45 minutes telling me how they're brokenhearted and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, it's like talking to a woman. It's kind of nice. So, you know, they have fears and right. misgivings just like the rest right. of us. But they just show it differently or don't show it at all. So to me, the beauty in having guys in the mastermind group is that you can work with these guys and get into their deeper selves, into their how they work, and learn so much. To me, that's enormously valuable. Another thing about mastermind groups, and this is sometimes difficult, when you join a group that has a lot of people that are like in your mind way more successful than you, really like way further ahead, and you, it's like a little intimidating. And it was to me. But I always remember, surround yourself with people that are as good as or better than you. So in a yep. mastermind, and this works with our group as well as the other, and people who are ahead of you or at the same level, because until you get further up there, it's harder to pull somebody up because you're still, I think the beginning of the climb up that mountain of success, that's probably the hardest. Kind of like I'll compare it to diving. When you go scuba diving, first 15 feet down has the greatest change, water pressure in PSI. And that's where you have the most problems with your buoyancy and with your ears. And everything. Oh my God, that's where you have the panic moments. They're like, mm-hmm. oh my God, no, I can't do this. My things aren't working. But once you get past that 15 feet, boy, it certainly starts to get a little easier and you start to enjoy what's around you. You're still working at it and still maybe struggling if you're a new diver, but it becomes then a beautiful journey, and you're with a partner. You always have a partner, always underwater, because if you don't, if something goes wrong, there's no one to catch you. And I compare that to the accountability group and to how we help each other climb through those first 15 feet of the mountain. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's great.
So what about paid mastermind groups? I have not done any of that. Have any of you done paid mastermind groups?
I have. And out of all the groups that I've been involved with, I actually prefer, I like the dynamic of this one. I think when you start talking with paid masterminds, you need to be, there seems to be a difference today, especially on social media as people are growing their business, between mastermind and open groups and open Facebook groups. I don't think an open Facebook group or a closed Facebook group is the same thing as a mastermind. They're great, but they are different. When you look at paid masterminds, I think you need to look at, is this a group? You have to look at who's in it. You have to, if you have any questions, ask before. And I think another key is to really know what you want to get out of it and make sure that is the purpose of the mastermind. For example, if I was in a mastermind and it was for people that were, I don't know, social media, and that's not an area that I'm even interested in, it's probably not a good fit for me. So you just look at why it's being there. You want to make sure that you can get something out of it as well as contribute something. So I think with paid masterminds, you have to be a little bit more picky. If it is an unpaid mastermind, you're looking for, are these people committed as much as I am to the group and to my success, and am I committed to their success?
Right, definitely. I think that the value that we all bring to each other is something that would be a paid mastermind group. Like this would be such a great investment of our time and our money that has much help as we do for each other. So I do believe that there's some things you can pay for, but I don't necessarily believe that you need to be paying for your masterminds unless it's something that's just you feel is exceptional. And that's my honest opinion. So take it or leave it.
I think with the mastermind groups, especially, you need to be mindful of the time that you're putting into it, the time commitment, so that you don't go overtime, like trying to keep it to an hour or so, and that everybody's getting benefit, so that everybody feels like they're heard and they're valued.
Right.
So, do you want to go on, Miss Shauna?
Yep. Last question. Anyhow, why would you consider a mastermind over coaching, getting a mentor, or just doing this all by yourself?
I think if it's coaching, that's more one-on-one. You're getting your coach's perspective. They're kind of holding your feet to the fire. And to me, the coaching is more like an accountability partner. They may have ideas. They have expertise in one area, but you're only getting that one person's feedback. Right. Masterminds are multi-people, multifaceted, and you're getting a lot of people's input as far as what's going on. So I think they're very different.
Right.
And I think that they have the roles that they play in are going to be different.
Definitely. Definitely. Cindy, do you have any thoughts on that?
On a mastermind versus accountability partner?
No. About doing a mastermind over being a paid coach or a mentor, or just doing it all by yourself?
Oh yeah. Oh no. First off, you and I talk about being on a lonely island. So that lonely island of owning your own business definitely needs somebody to bounce ideas off of and help push you through on those times when you are not feeling your best. And so whether it be a mastermind group, or a coach, I mean, I've used all of them. I really think it's finding the group or finding the person that works for you and finding the system that works for you, how often you talk, what you do, what you're trying to accomplish, things like that. What are your goals? Some of it is a lot of self-reflection before you start the group or the coach. What